بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا. قولي بسم الله. جزاكم الله خير for attending and welcome back to another session from iMuslim. If you attended before, I would like to refresh your mind so you know the series. If you didn't, we can quickly refresh your mind about the iMuslim as we started. I don't know, maybe this is session number 3 or 4. I don't recall actually. I think it's 4. iMuslim stands for Ideal Muslim. It's basically a series that covers or talks about the Islamic characteristics of an ideal Muslim based on Qur'an and Sunnah. The topic is for everyone, for born Muslims, new Muslims, kids, youth, adults, everyone, because it talks again about the ethics of the Muslim towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards ourselves, towards our family, friends, and the community at large. These quickly are the references that and also recommended reads that I recommend everyone, inshallah, to read, inshallah. As mentioned, then iMuslim, we cover, as mentioned, the relationship or the ethics of ourselves towards ourselves, towards, of course, before everyone else, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then towards our parents, spouses, children, relatives, neighbors, friends, and the whole community at large. The characteristics of a Muslim towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been covering sincerity, alertness to the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obedience to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, responsibility, acceptance of Allah's decrees, repentance to Allah, and pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in general. Then, inshallah, later, when we finish that, we'll talk about the relationship of ourselves to ourselves. Inshallah, we'll cover the balance between the body, mind, and soul. And then we can also cover the relationship or the characteristic of a Muslim toward our parents. And that's basically these 3 parts cover what we call session 1 of this series. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us health and there is an interest in this series, we can go to season 2 when we cover other topics and aspects, inshallah. Today, inshallah, we'll cover the aspect of repentance and try to cover it from multiple angles, repentance and reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, I would like to remind everyone that to get the benefit of this series, to get the full benefit, please ask everyone to chime in and engage in discussion. Without discussion, I don't think it will get the full benefit, and it might feel boring. So kindly chime in and get your thoughts in. Okay. So deep thoughts. Okay, we all have thoughts, and thoughts come to our mind at different times and different types, different categories. Here we see a gentleman that seems to be sitting in his office or something, and then he's in a very deep thought, right? Now, what is he thinking about? What do you think from the picture here? Can you drive any conclusions or ideas? Please unmute and chime in.
Maybe Assalamu alaikum Muhammad. Maybe it's yeah, there could be many things, you know. We can just give ideas, but maybe he's thinking for the next phase of his life. Maybe he looks like in the 40s, early 40s, mid 40s age. So maybe he's thinking about what's the next step in the next 10 years, planning financially and family wise and business and things like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility. What else?
A problem he's facing and trying to solve it.
Could be a problem he's facing. Yes. Could be thinking about future problem he's facing. What else?
Trying to be proactive, expand his business, or like opening new venues for his business or life.
It's possible. Brothers, sisters, any other?
It seems like he got some unwanted news and is like thinking deeply about it.
That's a possibility. Yes. What else?
Or maybe he made a bad choice and he's trying to figure out how to correct it.
It's all great. All these are possibilities, right? Yes. Nobody can tell from here. Yes, please go ahead. Someone's saying something. Yeah. So it could be in infinite number of possibilities, right? Of thoughts in his mind about his future, about his past, about things he has done or things he's thinking to do. Could be about problems, could be about family, could be about work, could be harassment he's receiving, could be thinking about political future, could be thinking about business he would like to buy. But when you go into these deep thoughts, right, are all the thoughts that come to our mind are from ourself or from our mind?
Some thoughts, you mean, I'm not sure if you're asking if he's having intrusive thoughts?
It's a general question. What do you think? When you have thoughts in our mind, right, do these thoughts, automatically I'm thinking about something, right? Is that thing has to be always stemming from my mind, from myself?
No, it does not.
What else can it be?
Oh, I don't know. I think that it could be sometimes you think of things and they're not your thoughts. It's almost like some people, I don't know. I think of them as attacks. I don't know, but that's what I was raised to think of them as, like bad thoughts that enter, and then you have to call on God or think of something positive or something. Because I think that you can be attacked in your thoughts, in my opinion. That's how I've always been. That's what I was
attacked. This is good. Attacked by whom?
Satan.
Satan. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. This is actually what I want to reach is here. There is Satan on his shoulder, right, whispering something. So you're all right. All the inputs so far are right? We, throughout our life, from the moment we're born, and especially when we reach puberty, until we die, as long as we're alive, we are awake, and then even sometimes when we go to sleep, there are infinite number of thoughts that come to our mind in every single second. Some of these thoughts are from ourselves, and some of these thoughts are from Satan.
Because I think sometimes, like when I'm praying, I'm like, where did that thought come from? I haven't thought of that. No. What am I thinking?
Jazakallah khair. That was a question I want to ask. When do we have the thoughts? All around the clock. We are awake. Thoughts, like there's a river of thoughts, right, that run through our mind and our soul and our chest. And these are either from ourselves, some of them from ourselves, some of them from shaitan. And these thoughts, right, are all it's a wide collection of thoughts, right? So, and you said during prayer, especially during prayer, actually, shaitan will be waiting for you to start praying, say Allahu Akbar, there's a good opportunity to ruin the prayer. If I was not able to stop her from praying, let me go into the prayer and ruin it, right? And that's why sometimes maybe when you're praying, sometimes you remember things that you didn't remember for years, or something that was lost that, I remember I thought they put this one somewhere, right? What does come from?
Can your prayer also be interrupted? Because this is something that concerns me. Just recently, it's funny you brought this up, but I started to yawn in prayer, and I'm like, I haven't yawned all day. Why am I yawning?
Yes.
I was like, where did that come from? I have not yawned for anyway.
Yeah, you're right. So Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that shaitan flows, or shaitan is sticking to human being as if, like an example, as if shaitan runs in our veins. like blood. Like he's with us around the clock. It doesn't get tired, doesn't take vacations, right? It doesn't stop. He's around the clock working 100%, doing his job. He's good at his job. And he's trying to put thoughts in our mind. And as I said, these thoughts could be from ourselves or from the shaitan. And then maybe you can ask a question right now. How do we differentiate? Sometimes I have thought in my mind, right? How do I know that this idea is from myself? This urge, for example, I have some urges. We are human beings and we have weaknesses. How do I know that the urge that I'm having right now is from myself or from shaitan? Does anyone know how can we differentiate?
To me, it's always negative.
Is it?
And yes, to me, it always seems to be negative. It's always something negative or something, in my opinion, that's how I feel. But you don't know.
That's a good point. Can shaitan command us to do something good?
Yes.
Yes, I can give an example.
Well, he can wake you up for Salat al-Fajr by making you have a nightmare, right at Fajr time. And then you wake up, immediately, and you remember it's, you need to pray. This happens. It has happened to me many times.
Okay.
For something good, it's like, he made you have a horrible nightmare, but right at the time where you would wake up for Fajr.
Okay, let's make an example. But what else? Can I have another example? Can shaitan, for example, come and ask you to pray or command you to pray? Or to perfect your prayer?
Probably not.
Okay. Are you sure? What else? What other brothers and sisters think?
But usually he doesn't. I mean, try to distract you. I mean, to get you to do something that's not good.
Okay, that's a possibility.
But sometimes it will make you. I don't know how to explain it. He will make you have thoughts, and maybe about something, to do something bad. But then you realize that this is from the shaitan, and you go and do something good instead. You do the opposite.
Okay, but let's step a couple of steps back, right? This is a good discussion. I'm really like this discussion because that will lead us to the point I want to reach. What is the mission of shaitan?
To distract us away from the path of Allah.
True. Yes. What else?
To take us to the Jahannam with him. Exactly.
That's the ultimate mission, right? Take us to Jahannam. And take us to Jahannam and basically make us commit kufr, or take us to the Jahannam, take us to the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's his mission. Now, how do we are put in Jahannam, or how do we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It doesn't matter to him. He just wants us to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Commit sins, right? And this is why, for him, that is the mission, and he doesn't get tired from different ways. So, for example, shaitan will come and ask me, for example, to steal money, for example, right? Or like I have money, I collect money for charity in the masjid or helping, whatever, and I have an access to a lot of money. How about, okay, this is like $100,000. How about I take 10,000 for myself and put in my bank account? He tries that for me, for example. But for some reason, money is not my weakness, right? I have weakness for other things. So I would say, no, astaghfirullah, this is haram. Shaitan will not bulge at that point. He will stop pushing me in that direction and then get me another idea. Try different bad thoughts. So for shaitan mission, his mission is to lead us all astray, away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get punished, as the sister said, and get into hellfire. Good. How do we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It doesn't matter to him, as long as we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll try one way. If that doesn't work, try the second way, third, 1,000s, 1 millions, 1 billions. It doesn't matter. He keeps trying with different ways until we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is how do we know if these thoughts are from shaitan or not. But if if I keep disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over and over and over from one door of disobedience, that I have a weakness, for example, let's say someone has weakness toward women, or a lady has a weakness toward men, and they are keep disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that door through adultery or through a haram relationship, whatever, by that we know this is weakness coming from ourselves, because ourself has a weakness, and then we keep ourselves keep urging us to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through that door. Of course, shaitan will help from here and there, but it keep always knocking in single door. That's probably the sin coming from ourselves. But if we have all kind of a mixed collection of sins, that's probably coming from shaitan. And this is how we differentiate whether the thought coming from shaitan or from ourselves. At the end of the day, we have, of course, to train ourselves and to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to close these doors, or at least try to not to fall into sins, right? But coming to the point about okay, now I have a bad thought, so let's say this is coming from shaitan to do something. And ask the question, can shaitan come in and command us to do something good? And actually think about this. If I'm in the masjid, right, a brother or sister in the masjid going to pray, and then the masjid, mashallah, is full of people who just finished their prayer, for example, in Jama'ah, and then I came late and I stand up in the middle and then I start praying. At the course of the beginning, shaitan tried with me not to come to the masjid or come to the prayer at all, or try different ways. And I kept, okay, no, I'm going to go and pray and make wudu. Of course, okay, can you pray without wudu? No, I'm going to make wudu. Okay, I made wudu. And I have the intention, and keep my intention is still going to pray. And then I tried everything, and then, okay, he couldn't stop me from going to start and praying. He'll come in the middle of the prayer and say, oh, come on. This is a good opportunity. Let's show everyone that you are perfectionist. You can perfect your prayer. Everyone is looking at you. So if they couldn't stop us from doing the deed, it can come and ask us to beautify the deed, right? Just from outside to ruin the intention of the deed. So if you don't do the deed, if I'm doing the deed anyways, let me ruin the intention, right? Or come whisper, as a lay sister said during the prayer, give us all these ideas.